Next up, we have Dr. Santosha Fernando. She is a specialist in public health and the Deputy Director at the Sri Jayawardenepura Teaching Hospital. She has co-authored the book Montage of Sexuality in Sri Lanka, published by the United Nations. She has worked extensively amongst the rural and urban poor and advocates for sexual and reproductive health rights, civil rights, and debrutalizing education. What changes does she envisage for Sri Lanka? Dr. Santosha, over to you.
Thank you, Frederick Naumann Foundation, for this invitation and for that generous introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, 73 years have passed since our token dominion from the British and 49 years since our actual independence in 1972 when we became a republic. We still role play like this to visit our promised land where professional and meritocratic women will pretend to run the country. It's interesting. So, what would I do if I were leading this nation? First of all, I would understand that we live in the age of populism, anti-politics, and in fact, post-politics. It's a social paradox. People disbelieve politics. They mock politicians. They want the parliament to sink in the Diyavanna. Yet, they seek political patronage from the very same politicians they elected to shake up the system. You only have to look around to see the great vaccine dilemma to understand it. Let me challenge you. How many of you used your links to politicians and privileged to jump the queue and obtain the COVID vaccine? I think our main predicament in society is the failure of civic and moral imagination of citizens. If I were the leader to address this, I would, most importantly, work towards passing a secular constitution. A secular constitution would not mean that the state is stifling any particular religion. It means that we understand that the current constitution is based on Roman, Dutch, and English laws which are centuries old, which in turn means it is based on the Victorian logic, religious values, and alien morals. Italy, the Netherlands, and England that conceptualize these laws have long abandoned them and moved forward as secular states in the world, while we carry their outdated values. Under this constitution, we cannot achieve universal minimum age at marriage. A woman cannot lay claim to reproductive rights of her body. A gay man, a trans woman cannot have equal rights or recognition. Our laws and administrative processes are not documented in gender-neutral language. It is this warped constitution and its legal framework that has led to 32 men challenging the appointment of the first female DIG of Sri Lanka Police on a linguistic technicality because apparently we are not sure whether the word man includes the concept of women. And the age and the year is 2021. The word civilization is derived from the Latin word civitas, meaning big city. The idea of civilization of the ancient West meant big buildings, big roads, highways, money. The Sinhala word for civilization is Shishtacharya. Shishta means non-violent. It means considerate, just, elegant, refined, soft. Shishta means compassionate. Shishtacharya is far from the ancient Roman, Dutch, and English meaning for civilization. It is closer to what the Buddha preached. The Buddha avoided categorizing any living thing to men, women, gay, straight, animal or not. He generally referred to them as sattva. The secular constitution that I conceptualize will protect all religions and protect all from religion. Where there is constitutionally sanctioned justice and fair play, the true era of women politicians will arrive. It will be the country that our ideological foremothers, such as Daisy Bandaranayake, Serena Pereira, Vivian Gunawardena, Celestina Rodrigo, Aisha Rauf, Kumari Jayawardena, dreamt of. There will be 1,000 other Maheshi Ramasamis, Nilika Malaviges, Malathi Dialvises shining in that country. From that country, Sri Lanka's woman Ambedkar will emerge. Because I consider myself a sattva, as a leader, I would behave like a creature belonging to an ecosystem. I will display the moral imagination and the humility to understand that everything here on earth is not for us to deforest, log, and consume. That climate change is real. I will remember the lyrics by the Sinhala poet Ruchira Paranavitana, beautifully sung by Sri Lanka's Nightingale, Deepika Priyadarshini Piris, and I quote, Rana Girau Kap Kap Katusuko Bay, Uraga Naga Sakuni Vane, Numbata Vage Mai Apatat, Duk Pida Vida Dani. They too feel the thirst, hunger, heat, and weariness. I will be the leader of citizens, animals, Adivasis, rivers, and the seas. I would lead with the conviction that apart from the spheres of national security, judiciary, free health, free education, social welfare and environment, less government is more government. I will believe in internationalism and believe in the private sector as much as I believe in the public sector. Economic protectionism will create wheeler dealers, bribe lords, insider traders within government. A cautiously liberal economy can fracture the energy mafia, the big pharma mafia, media mafia. Professor Sir Michael Marmot, living legend who headed the WHO Commission on Social Determinants of Health, famously said, all ministers are health ministers. So if I were the leader of this country, I will remember that all presidents must also think like health ministers. Health cuts across all aspects of human life, and all aspects of life affects health directly or indirectly. In the country I lead, the health system will respond to the effects of social inequity such as addiction, disability, gender-based violence, mental health issues, and chronic non-communicable diseases. I will deliver distributive justice in health and all aspects of civil life. Distributive justice simply means that our decisions benefit the most disadvantaged first. It means that during this pandemic, we first repatriate our migrant workers stranded in the Middle East before we repatriate our privileged friends. This well-crafted reality of ours, we owe it all to our expatriate migrant workers who contribute the most to our economy. I will use the best of science to uplift this nation, irrespective of ethnicity and religion. The 20-day-old Muslim infant who dies of COVID-19 will go to meet Allah, sleeping like a doll on a bed of roses, not as a tin of ashes. In my dream country, education will be modernized and debrutalized. Childhood would be debrutalized. Every 2 hours, a child is sexually abused in Sri Lanka. A few days ago, a little child was caned to death by a witch doctor. It took Sri Lanka 46 years since independence to elect our first female president, Chandrika Kumaratunga. It took a woman president to introduce the Child Protection Bill and establish the National Child Protection Authority. I would implement the full force of the child protection policy within 24 hours of being sworn in. In the country I lead, 1.3 million school days will not be lost annually by young girls due to menstruation. If I had 800 million to spend, I would make sanitary pads an essential item. I would use it to provide dignified spaces, running water, disposal facilities for menstrual management. And if they call me pad woman, I will wear it like Susantika's Olympic medal. Today, for the first time, you did well. Today, for the first time in 15 years, the Cabinet Ministry of Women's Affairs is abolished and remains downgraded. In the country I lead, there will be punitive justice and restorative justice with regard to crime. According to a research done by the United Nations Population Fund and the Sri Lanka College of Forensic Pathologists, 36% of the unnatural deaths among women are attributed to intimate partner violence, and 30% of those women are between the ages of 30 to 40 years. How many of you shared suitcase jokes on Facebook and WhatsApp? If you did, you are a part of the problem. If I were the leader of this country, I would have won an election, but I would conduct myself humbly, knowing the limitations of victory, the limitations of power. I will remember that the Constitution of Sri Lanka doesn't contain the term executive president. I will remember my muse, my poets, my art. Khalil Gibran wrote in his poem called Defeat that to be enthroned is to be enslaved. I will remember the message of his words. I will control my ego, words, anger, and my biases. I will re-narrate morality, redefine modernity. I will do all in my power to reignite the magic and the romance of politics, because in spite of our anti-political predicament, politics is still our best and most powerful weapon against despotism. I will reopen the road to forgiveness, surrender my ego in asking for forgiveness, regardless of who committed atrocities first. I will say to those with unhealed wounds, forgive me as I forgive you. Let's forgive each other for all we lost. Let's make peace within our lifetime. අපි අපේ ජීවිත කාලය තුළ සාමය ඇති කරමු. එමෙද පිල්ලෙයිහල් නන්පටලාහ ඉරකටම. Although my Tamil is broken, my commitment to love and peace will not be. If I lead this nation, my quest for peace will include the whole nation. No ethnic group owns peace. Peace cannot be imported from the international community nor imposed by a United Nations remotely. It has to grow from within, and I will replant the seed. I will live and lead as a person who believes that another Shishta civilization is possible, that another country is possible, that another world is possible, because it is possible. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.